Okay, so in this short tutorial, I just want to show you kind of the skeleton of a wave-aware gadget and how you can use jQuery to build out the functionality of that gadget. So starting up at the top here, you can see that it starts off like a normal Google gadget, which is essentially an HTML page that has some extra XML wrapping it, and that XML allows Google to recognize it as a gadget and also to set different preferences. So you can see here I'm setting the title of the gadget and a width and a height. I've found so far that setting the width and a height here doesn't work well with the Wave gadget, so I hope that's something that they will fix coming out of the preview period, or I will learn a better way to do it. So next thing you want to include to distinguish it as a Wave aware gadget is you're going to use this require feature piece of code here. Require feature Wave, which designates it as a Wave aware gadget, and then this next one, require feature lock domain, they just recommend you including that for security purposes. So now getting to the actual code of the gadget, starting here we're just including Google's jQuery library, and let's scroll down to the bottom because it really the flow of it all starts down here. You have to register an onload handler. So in this gadget, this is the init function, and this is really the main purpose of the tutorial, is to show you if you want to use jQuery to build out the functionality of your Wave gadget. This is where you do your main jQuery bindings and functionality. So in the init function, we check and see if the gadget is within a Wave, and if it is, we do our jQuery bindings, and then we set a callback function for what happens when the state of the Wave changes. So in this case, this is the state updated function. So all I'm doing in my normal jQuery is I'm hiding an approval div, which is eventually going to show a message. Well, I guess I should back up and say what this gadget is supposed to do. It's just a little approval button. So like maybe you're using your Wave to list out features that you're going to build for a project, and they have to be approved by a client or by somebody higher up in your own team. So this gadget will just display a click to approve button, and when it's clicked, it will change to say who it was approved by. So again, this initially just hides that approval message, and it binds to the message div a function that will get run when it's clicked, and that's this approve function. So let's say somebody clicks on that initial message. We're going to find out who clicked it. First of all, we're going to set the approver, and the way we're going to find that out is we're going to access the Wave get viewer. That's going to return an object representing the current viewer of that Wave, and we're going to get their display name. You can also get like their avatar, their ID, but all we need for this is their name. And then we're going to update the state of the Wave with the name of that approver. And the way you update the state of the Wave is first you get the state, and the state is represented as kind of a JSON data structure, just a key value array. And then the way you actually update it is with this submit delta function. So I'm adding to the key value store a key called approver with the value that I just found out right here. And so you remember how we registered a callback function that will get run when the state of the Wave is updated. So now let's see what happens there after we've run this submit delta function and change the state of the Wave. So first we're going to check and see if that approver key exists. And the reason we do that is because this state updated function will also be run the very first time the gadget is loaded. So at that time there will be no approver, so this condition will be false, and we will just display our initial message, which is click to approve. Now, but if they have clicked the button and it has updated that approver key value, this condition will be true, and we will hide our original message, and then we will append that piece of data on the approver that we stored in the wave state. We access the wave state by get state, and then we use this get function, which we tell the name of the key that we want to retrieve the value for. And that, of course, in this case is approver. This none right here is just an optional default argument that you can pass. In this case, it should never display, so it's kind of unnecessary here, but if you did have something that you wanted to display an initial value for, you could use that. So we set the approval div, actually we append to it because we had originally, as a hidden div it just says approved by blank, and then we just append the name of the approver right here, and then we show that div, and that's it. So again, the main purpose of this tutorial is just to show you that you can use jQuery, and this is where you do your usual jQuery goodness, is within that init function that you have to register right here. So I hope you enjoyed that and build some cool stuff with jQuery in Wave, and hopefully I can get my own stuff to look a little nicer and figure out this width and height stuff to make it smaller like I want it to be. Alright, thanks.